The Deck Network. Build a deck.
Bam! This is the Deck Network. I'm your host, Mike Danzolio, and we have the King of Queens right here.
The co-host, Matt Dalton. Remember, here at the Deck Network, it's all decks all the time. You know it. You love it. It's
Great
the
job,
catchphrase.
man. Great job,
Thank
Matt.
you.
Okay, so today's show, we're going to talk about Azek Decking for 2018.
You putting up a deck this year? You thinking about what material to get?
Okay.
Azek is one to consider.
Azek is a ultra premium product. It's PVC. They actually call it their capped polymer, or their armor alloy, and 30-year fade and stain warranty.
They got azek.com.
Yep.
So you can see it all in action. Do they have a good, better, best offering?
They're all pretty. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to start with that. So we have the. We're going to start with the. We're going to have the Harvest Collection as the first row there. So let's get back to their armor alloy technology. It's not, the cover is not fully PVC. It does have some additives in it, but I'm sure it's still over the 92% PVC that has to be considered that a product.
That's the standard.
Yeah, and I think it's 92%. All right, so let's get right into the Harvest Collection.
Okay. This one looks.
Harvest Collection. Okay, this one is the Autumn Chestnut. We'll find the gray one, the second one down. The Autumn Chestnut and the Island Oak are pretty much in the same the idea. Richer colors. These are only a couple of years old, and they got some like whitish variegations in them. It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are, and they have two different price points at the lower end. So we have. This one is $3.99 a linear foot. Beautiful PVC decking, 30-year fade and stain warranty. Great stuff. So we have the Autumn Chestnut and the Island Oak. Now this one is called the Kona color. It's been out for a long time. They use it just for borders on some of these browns. It doesn't come grooved. All these other deckings come in 12, 16, and 20 foot in the grooves. Some of them have 16s and 20s, and some of them just have 20s. The more expensive ones just have 20-footers in the non-grooved. But this one only comes in 12, 16s, and 20s in non-grooved, because you'll use this as a border. So you would put the Cortex down.
You can use your camo tool.
Yes, you can use it. Oh, yeah, the camo tool.
Go back to old shows on that. We did a full thing on.
So this one is the Kona one right here in the center, the darker brown. So now these are the old industry standards. Everyone has to have a light gray and a light brown.
These are the workhorses.
This one is, these colors were the first ones that Azek came into when they got into the, back in probably around 2004, Azek bought a company, Procell Decking. This was old Procell Decking. Of course, it's slightly different than it was before. It didn't have the co-extrusion. It didn't have as hard of a shell on it, but the stuff's still out there and it looks really good. The PVC decking has always been a little higher grade than the standard composite. And the nice capped composites. It's all, the beauty is up to you. These generally are a little prettier. They're not as tough as the capped composites, but under normal circumstances, if you don't have a kid like I was when I was 12 years old, jumping bicycles and skateboards and you name it, I would destroy anything.
Filleting fish on the deck, you didn't care.
Yeah, so this one, these are great colors. So look at the next one. That's the slate gray. These are the industry standards. I have a lot of people say, "Oh, isn't that brown?" or the low one, "Isn't that gray?" I always like to put the gray and the brown next to each other, so you can tell the difference.
And we're in the fluorescent lights here, so you can't see it as much. But
these are the industry standards. We don't sell a whole lot of them. They're $3.85 a linear foot.
30-year fade and stain on them.
Yeah, it's great stuff. All right, let's go right into the next one. Now the Arbor Collection used to be their more expensive one till they came out with the one we're going to see afterwards. So this Arbor Collection, here's some of the colors right in there. This one is the Brazilian Walnut, darker brown. We don't stock it here at No Maintenance X. The Arbor Collection, we do not stock that. Would all be special order.
Doesn't mean that it's going to take a long time, though.
Yeah, a couple of days, and we have it all in. It's $4.39 a linear foot, and okay, so we have the Brazilian Walnut. This one is the Hazelwood. Hazelwood, just like if you've watched the TimberTech show for 2018, they have the new color called the whitewashed cedar color. This one, all the decking companies have to have a light color. This looks really nice down. It's got like almost a greenish tint to it, but it looks great on a large deck. Some people just like to have a light colored deck.
Depends on the color of your house.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, sure.
A lot of
And
other
so this
factors.
one is the hazelwood at $439.
In the Arbor
A
Collection.
linear foot. This was the Murado, very popular color, medium brown. It has some black variegations in it.
Yep.
It's been around for a long time.
I'm sure we'll sell a bunch of that.
Oh, yeah.
Here at No Maintenance Decking in Farmingdale.
Yeah, okay, so we have the mountain redwood. This is a red. As I always say, you got to sell some red, but you have to have it. You don't sell a super lot of it, but that's a nice one right there.
People will ask for it. We
Yeah.
want to take care of them.
This one is the acacia. This is the darker brown color, and it has these little white, or they call it a blonde streak, because that's what an acacia tree has in it. So this one is acacia after an acacia tree or wood. And the next one is the silver oak. This one is a specialty color. Either people like it or they don't like it.
Kind of like me.
Yeah. Oh, I think they like the decking slightly more. All right, so this is the silver oak, brownish, grayish, kind of has a crossover look. I always say that either is something brown or gray. This one has both colors in it.
Could work good as a border.
Sure, again, $439 a linear foot. All right, now let's get into the vintage collection. This was introduced probably 3 years ago with 3 colors. So they have 3 new colors for 2018.
And we're going to show them here
Yeah,
today.
right now we're introducing them on the Deck Network. So this one is
Premiere.
the dark hickory. It's dark gray. Now the vintage collection has this beautiful graining pattern
Yeah.
on with the variegations. It's just a fine looking product, and this one's even a little more expensive than the Arbor Collection. It's $469 a linear foot. This line's the big seller for Azek. Looks great.
I can see why. It's a great looking product.
It's beautiful. Okay, so then this one is the cypress. As we always say, people come in, they say want a natural wood color, and this one is what they mean when they say natural wood color. It's kind of orangey, brownish, nice. It's just got that nice texture on it. It looks great. I have a large section of it here at
The Vintage Collection in
No
stock at No Maintenance Decking?
yeah, the entire vintage collection
is here.
yeah.
Come and just fill up on it.
Yep.
All right,
And
last
this one is the more popular one out of the original vintage collection colors. This one is the mahogany color. When people come to my store and they ask for teak or ipe or
Those
mahogany,
hardwoods.
the hardwoods. Well, mahogany is not much of a hardwood. This is what, and they say, what's that deck over there underneath the tiki bar? I say, well, that's the mahogany color. They say, that looks better than wood. Oh, yeah, it does, and you don't have to do anything to it. And it does cost less. So remember, though, it's $469 linear foot. You're still going to pay over $5 a foot for ipe, and it's difficult to work with, and you got to maintain it. So it does cost less than ipe, but it has that look that's just, people love it.
And no maintenance.
Yeah, let's get right into
All right, the new colors.
The new colors.
Let's do it.
All right, this one is called the Weathered Teak. It's kind of like a lightish brown.
Yeah.
With the
Sandy almost.
yeah, looks like a very sand color. $469 a linear foot.
What do you think? We're going to sell a lot of this?
Oh
or is
yeah,
this
yeah,
more
yeah.
of
We
this-
made a decent buy on all these 3 new colors. So
Okay.
so we're going to be at $469 a linear foot on it. All right, so this one is this one was my favorite one when I first was introduced to the colors. I got a little sneak peek last
sure you
last year. Yeah, so yeah, this one even says prototype on it. So it says this one is called Coastline. This one's a gray. If you get an ipe deck and you don't do anything to it, this is what it's going to look like. But this is still going to look better. That's what it looks like. It's that weathered gray color. Let's get into the vintage collection. Yeah, we're falling behind a little bit on these colors. All right, so this is the Coastline over here.
That looks nice
Yeah.
with a white rail up against
Oh,
it.
yeah. Nice one. Real nice one. Okay, last, but certainly not least, this is the English Walnut, darker brown. This one's going to be a seller. I can just tell.
Yep.
English Walnut. You can use some of these as border pieces, or you can mix them together.
And when you predict a seller,
Yeah, I just know.
He knows. He's been doing this
We've been
for a
doing
while.
it long enough.
$469.
A linear foot on the vintage collection. Azek Decking, great stuff. Azek sells an awful lot of decking. And of course, they have their white trim, and they have some other products that they're working on. But it's great stuff. Always excellent people to work with. We have the pretty much the entire line at No Maintenance Decks, Route 110 in Farmingdale, New York.
Excited about the new colors.
Yeah,
They look great.
they look great. Yeah, so and a lot of colors though. All right, so that's it for today's show with Azek Decking for 2018. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can direct them at
Matt@thedecknetwork.com.
or Mike@thedecknetwork.com, and we can answer them in a prompt fashion just for you.
We'll type them right up,
Yep.
the email responses.
Okay, so that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching.
And ciao for
Now.